that's the case this time, or if they both end up kind of sticking to the same thing. Looks like we're off.
We are off, and as you may have noticed, we are not picking up anything in Link's house. So, this is part of the spoiler tournament format. Our runners get to know where everything is. So, if they decide that a certain item isn't worth it, they're not going for it.
And on the other hand, they get to kind of decide just how much health and safeties they have going through the seed, and how close to the edge they want to play.
Now, for instance, I like how SuperNinTaylor caught the bush crab right away, and then I think Acktheboker was looking for another one, but decided to go with Old Familiar. And so, here's a good place to use some of those bombs we just got. As long as the mini Moldorms behave. I do believe our runners have some treasure scents available. There should be something worthwhile in here. What will it be?
We'll find out, going straight to the chests that matter and not bothering with the ones that don't. As we get a sword and a blue potion.
Excellent starts. That puts Sick Kid in logic. Again, if we need to visit the Sick Kid. But more importantly, we have a bottle. And, as usual, transition to new scenes. Bush crabs respawn.
Yeah, the spoiler logs for this tournament, I believe they were actually modified specifically to allow the runners to know what those drops were going to be. I think the default ones on the randomizer don't have that information. So that was a nice addition by the staff of this tournament for this.
Alright, and oh! SuperNinTaylor's treasure senses are tingling. We are going to visit Agina. While Acktheboker is going in the opposite direction, or nope, taking a dip instead.
So we see Ack doing the fake flipper trip, so he's either heading towards Hobo or towards the Zora area. But without Moon Pearl, he wouldn't be able to actually do Waterfall Fairy. It would just be Zora, and obviously well short of the rupee count.
While SuperNinTaylor doesn't have to worry about such tricks, they have flippers. So let's see what this bird lover has today. Ack thinks it's something good. Oh, that's extremely good. We got ourselves a flute.
So this is actually a little similar to the split they did in the first game. Ack was very focused on getting the flute and boots early, where SuperNinTaylor was kind of more focused on progression.
That is true.
As we can see, Swamp is a pendant, so it is possible that the flippers would not be required, as long as you fake flipper into anything you need.
That is a fair point. But for now, both of our runners want to raid what is inside Hyrule Castle. Well, Mirror's certainly a good find, but they sense more treasure. Sheesh, apparently our characters are becoming like Locke, trying to be treasure hunters. Final Fantasy VI joke for ya.
Well, that's fine, as long as we're doing the Super Nintendo classics.
Super Nintendo Classics Game Boy Advance translation, and I think we have a perfect pair. And, ooh, there. That's like Dark World package almost right there. Magic Mirror to get out, and Moon Pearl to stay in.
So interestingly, SuperNinTaylor decided to grab the key there before save quitting.
That is a
Not
good
quite sure
point.
why.
Well, maybe they suspect something may be in the... Maybe they fear a bad glove location. Oh, there's another bottle.
Well, Ack skipped it. It was probably just muscle memory. That's a big enemy in these spoiler tournaments when you are just ditching out in the middle of a sequence you repeat over and over.
That is admittedly a fair point. Some practice seeds that I've done, I have relied a little bit too much on muscle memory for some parts.
Yeah, so to answer chat, they have the spoiler log for 15 minutes, which melts past when you are trying to do it on a time limit. They can continue to consult it throughout the race, but usually once the race starts, you kind of want to focus on running.
Or at the very least, diving in, because we are now in the well. Alright, what type of treasure will we see here today? Ooh, lots of money. Which means Ack is thinking about spending it.
Yeah.
Go
We
ahead.
know that 110 is required just for pod, which is a crystal, but there are obviously a number of other things that can cost here, such as the scam artist right here that he is walking directly past, and some other scam artists throughout the land. Simultaneous flute activations.
And with that, folks, we have ducks that are amucks. It is time to fly.
Both flute to 8 and go in completely different directions.
Ack senses treasure in the Ice Rod Cave while SuperNinTaylor is heading to Waterfall. We may have some good things here. So let's see. Whoa, hook shot, powder, and mail. Ooh, that's like a super package right there.
Looks like they're both going to keep fluting, going up to Death Mountain in both cases.
Well, we have access to many locations up here. Question is, where are we going? Looks like Ack is thinking about the Spectacle Rock area. SuperNinTaylor trying to head there as well, but some of the Dead Rocks wanted to have their way.
Well, Ack has no other choice. They haven't picked up the hook shot yet, but SuperNinTaylor could have gone a couple of ways.
Ooh, I saw 300 on top. But Ack wants that money. At this point, it's either safeties or Zora. Because I know both Ack and SuperNinTaylor are very good at this game. But oh, they want to go into Hera. They believe they can knock this place out.
Well, they should know the layout, and there is, in fact, the hammer, so a big find right away. Also not fire locked, we'll find out from SuperNinTaylor, so they're going to be able to clear this place if they want to.
That is a very good point. Oh, okay. Looks like Ack is going to pass on that right now. Not necessarily a bad idea. SuperNinTaylor's thinking of clearing out. So, the reason why I like Ack's strategy is because we can just knock out Tower of Hera, assuming we don't need anything on Moldorm, and just, to have that be the last dungeon. But in the meantime, Ack is now in Spiral Cave, Acktheboker's in Spiral Cave. We know it has some type of stuff. Hopefully, it's good enough. But look out! Ack is in Spiral Cave.
I admire the courage it takes to do that in public.
I'm used to it. Look out! Master Sword in Spiral Cave. I would say that's worth it. While SuperNinTaylor... Ooh, are we going to see Fighter Sword strats or Hammer strats?
It's gotta be Hammer. This Fighter Sword is miserable even though it's the vanilla way.
While Ack is right now in Paradox Cave. Once again, more treasure available while SuperNinTaylor takes out the worm. And, ooh, first heart container seen, but we also have Bombos. And with our runner's items right now, Hookshot, Flippers, Bombos. That leaves Ice Palace as a potential play, I believe.
They need gloves for Dark World access, but yes, otherwise.
I forgot about that. But yeah, Bombos helps. I saw another... Go ahead.
Mitts, actually, but yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, we also saw the second mail upgrade in Paradox, so we have lots of good stuff. But so far, only one dungeon completed.
This leaves the important question, given how en route that the mail upgrades were, if both players will grab red mail, or if one of them will decide that it is in fact for cowards.
Now, as someone that has tried some of these before, I like my safeties, but even I know certain safeties are worthwhile, and ooh! Ack is visiting the Mad Batter. Which means Ack senses treasure. Which means we are about to see a curse. And the Mad Batter delivers a curse of strength! Now you will be forced to lift heavier objects. Hope you're happy.
I mean, that does cost several seconds in many cases.
Worthwhile curse, then. Nice one, Firelight. I should have used that one. But yeah, with that glove, Acktheboker is our first to enter the full Dark World.
Yeah, but SuperNinTaylor does get red mail, and I have to admit I've never seen that sprite with red mail before, and it's terrifying.
Alright folks, get some hype ready. We are inside Hype Cave. And inside, heart container, easy to get. Titan's Mitts, there's some hype.
He's going to clear it out, just to make sure. Get some arrows and bombs out of the deal.
Nothing wrong with that. SuperNinTaylor, I think just double-checking the routing. Remember, folks, our runners do have access to the spoiler log 15 minutes prior, but they are certainly allowed to look at it during the race. And if you fear a misread, sometimes it's good to just take a second or two, double-check, make sure you know where you're going.
Yeah, so it looks like... Yeah, it looked
like
he might have forgotten they didn't have gloves there, and tried to go to Dark World without them.
Oh, that's not fun. Alright. Ack is... wait, are we seriously... We're heading to Checkerboard Cave. There was something here last game, if I saw correctly. Are we going to have a possible repeat? Oh my gosh, we are! That's the Pegasus boots, folks. And now, Ack is in Agina's cave to get the flippers.
Yeah, and Taylor's going to Magic Bat to pick up those gloves, having retrieved the powder.
So right now, our runners are trading off in positions, but they will get themselves caught up shortly. But at this point, Ack is able to go swimming without needing to worry about fake flippering, so that'll certainly work out. But at the same time, that does remove one easy access to the Houlihan room, but Ack is already equipped with rupees. We don't even need to worry about it. So instead, looks like Ack is going to get that hookshot.
Yeah, probably will pick up the red mail as well, rather than not take the 3 seconds to grab it.
Oh! Ack suspects that King Zora may have something, or it could be the ledge. We're gonna see the ledge first. Ledge, just bombs. Oh boy, the king has some worth here. My question is, what type of worth? In the meantime,
I already know the answer, but we'll find out together otherwise.
Finding out together is the best way. In the meantime, SuperNinTaylor's about to get those Titans mitts, and Ack all wanted a little bit of magic. Not gonna happen this time. Alright, chat is already calling it. What type of worth does King Zora have? Tempered Sword. Now, admittedly, going from Master Sword to Temper Sword is a very good thing. You don't have to worry about spin strategies against Ganon's final phase, and Tempered Sword does deal a lot of damage. But that's not progression.
It's not, but before you've gone any dungeons, it's very, very nice. You'll have that for the entire seed for every boss. And SuperNinTaylor's already been up that way, so there's a pretty good chance that he's not going back for that.
Ooh, fair point. But SuperNinTaylor is going to pick up those boots at this rate. While in the meantime, Ack is entering Swamp Palace.
The Swamp Palace is one of our pendants, so there must be something of some value in here.
Well, I will trust our treasure hunter senses then. And if for some reason we are mistaken, that can leave open other things. Remember, folks, Swamp Palace is it's either a red pendant or a blue pendant, I cannot tell, but it's certainly not green. That is desert. So in the meantime, SuperNinTaylor is, well, fluted to 8, but I think heading to ice.
So both of our runners are heading to different non-green pendant dungeons.
Alright, so both runners suspect some sort of treasure here. This is certainly going to be exciting. Ack already passed up on one chest, but we still have many more to go. There are, after all, 6 potential items inside Swamp. And heaven forbid we actually have to enter the left side of Swamp or take the long way around in ice.
I'll trust in you to know if it's the long way around in ice or not. I always just go around 6 or 7 times.
Most of our runners are familiar with the Ice Palace bomb jump to make things simple, and oh, what is this? Did Ack accidentally pick up Fool's Gold inside here? Ack is go-moding this place. I have an idea as to why, but let's let this play out. In the meantime, SuperNinTaylor also skipped the first chest in ice. Again, our runners have better senses of treasure than I do. And oh, SuperNinTaylor is out of bombs and is trapped over there. Has to mirror out and try again.
Well, he's going to have the ability to refill quickly by buying a capacity upgrade, but that's still a pretty heavy hit.
I mean, I admit, ever since Venus, the Queen Fairy, offered the upgrades over there, I usually always stop there because some days I have bad bomb jumps. I get that. But in this case, SuperNinTaylor is hoping to just pick up enough and not worry about it, but I don't remember that room having enough bombs to do that. In the meantime, Acktheboker is already on Argus. Which means if Argus does not drop anything, we may have a pedestal seed. I think this may be the first in our tournament here.
It would explain both of them going for some crystals. What's Argus got here for us?
It's the compass! We have, most likely, a pedestal seed.
Either that or Ack thought this was all dungeons.
I mean, to my knowledge, this is an all-open mode tournament, so I think we have Ped here. And chat is ecstatic. In the meantime, SuperNinTaylor, who has to get this double Stalfos perfectly, gets it! But here's the problem. No bombs picked up. That means the bomb jump is unavailable.
Does have the boots. Did demonstrate hovering last seed, however.
That is true. I did forget about that. I am still not used to seeing so many people being able to hover. But still, we can potentially use some of the recent knowledge to maybe identify what's on that pedestal. In the meantime, SuperNinTaylor with the diagonal hovering and gets it! Just has to transition screens and then it's good. Whew, it's good.
There's a bomb. A little later than you might have liked.
Well, the bombs will help for later dungeons, I believe. I mean, we have to enter Misery Mire. We need at least one bomb for that. Unless, of course, we do any sort of fancy Kano Samaria trickery. But right now, note SuperNinTaylor's routing. Skipping a number, we only saw 1 or 2 chest skips so far, which means may not be anything here. At this point, we already know... Oh!
There's the bow. That's a little important.
So that means we did have to come into Ice Palace, but if our runners suspect that it is oh my gosh, double diagonal Ice Palace hovers. Nicely done. So at this point, folks, keep on getting your speculations in on what is on that pedestal. Because at this point, yeah, as it's basically been said, unless we misread where our runners needed to go, there's something there.
Both players taking very similar routing through ice, although Ack only doing it once.
And bear some, I do have it, but I can't reveal everything. So in the meantime, Ack is still exploring a little bit, entering some areas that I don't recall seeing SuperNinTaylor entering. Ah, well, having an extra key certainly, doesn't hurt. But at this rate, SuperNinTaylor will be the first to approach Cold Stare. But this is technically a dangerous fight. Oh, hold on. Big chest first. Bottles for safety. I like my safeties. Plus, our runner should still have the blue potion. So at the very least... Yeah, go ahead.
In Blue Mail, I think they're probably okay on this. I think it's 2 damage a hit in Red Mail, rather. Little bit of margin for error.
I believe you are correct on that as well.
Yeah, I misspoke. It is Red Mail.
But it looks like Excuse me. SuperNinTaylor is hoping something inside the iced tea room. Acktheboker already claims it. It's the lamp. Now, I'm curious about this decision. Because if I know our runners, they can handle dark rooms.
Yeah, but sometimes you just need to set something on fire. Some people just want to watch things burn.
That is a fair point, Mercer. I did forget about that. And if we want to watch things burn, well, we're about to get a double showcasing of Cold Stare, so, let the fireworks go.
So this is a fight where the tempered sword advantage might really show. SuperNinTaylor has to break out hammer strats here after getting them in the corner.
I mean, it technically is possible to use Master Sword or Master Sword spins, but it is slower, and... oh, here's where that potion comes in handy. SuperNinTaylor needed a refill. Acktheboker has already taken out the 3. So, that is, 2 pendants. And I can't believe we're saying this in a spoiler open format. Acktheboker has 2 pendants, while SuperNinTaylor has 1. And while chat wants to see Desert Palace being played out, it looks like Ack wants to consider taking out Palace of Darkness and maybe Eastern all at the same time.
Makes good sense, especially if there's anything of value in here. Easy enough to take the 2 of them together. Relaxing little trip. You just get to pay a monkey and you get to enjoy the vacation home of your dreams.
I don't remember Palace of Darkness being the vacation home of my dreams. I mean, haven't you seen the turtles? If you don't have, something that can flip them over, like, say, the hammer or the shield or... wait, that's Link's Awakening. Never mind. Well, our runners have the hammer, so they can clean house.
If it wasn't the vacation home of your dreams, why are you paying 110 rupees for it?
That's a fair point. You know what, Mercer? I may have to borrow that for future commentaries. So, interestingly enough, SuperNinTaylor chose to go into the early shooter room first, get a key, while Ack is over into the arena section. Well, the arena stadium seats, effectively, and picks up a map, but was expecting the key.
It's very easy to route out the general progression of a seed in the 15 minutes. It can be very difficult to route out the specific key logic of a dungeon, so it'd be interesting to see what route he takes from here.
Alright. Oh, we have a Dark Maze play by Hammeryump. And SuperNinTaylor's trying to get the position nice, but uh-oh. Where's that big key? Perhaps SuperNinTaylor has the idea. Ack is taking the normal approach. Top left chest seems to be interesting. It is, but not for the reason I was thinking. That's the Cane of Samaria. Ah, and the big key was in the money room, of course.
Cane very obviously required. I believe that will, if they decide to do Desert Palace for some reason, allow them to do Desert and Mire together.
As long as we have access to Mire.
Well, the tracker told us it's Bombos, so we do.
Ah, I see that now. Nice. And oh, Ack was hoping to get the Hammeryump, but unable to, spends a key. He's going to need a new key to replace it in order to visit the King Helmassar.
Yes, looks like he's going to end up visiting that shooter room after all. I was hoping to avoid it to save some time.
I need to see Ack's inventory because I did not catch if he got the Kano Samaria there. And
I believe he did, but I may have missed it.
Also, Ack, you just went through the front door. Okay, picking up another key. Makes sense. Alright, we do not have to worry. Almasar King is accessible and is about to go down shortly. And, Star Wars 999, both of our runners have picked up Pendant Dungeon so far. Swamp Palace had nothing. We are looking at a very strong chance of a pedestal seed. Now, of course, Ice Palace did have the bow and technically the biologic lantern, but we care more about the bow here.
With that in mind, they are even on dungeon clears. While SuperNinTaylor has a crystal, Axe got swamp over him.
Yeah, well, if we do need that pedestal, which, again, it seems likely, perhaps it doesn't matter which dungeons we take out as long as we take care of them all. Well, all meaning we don't care about Aga 1 because we already have Dark World access, but who's counting that?
We don't know what's on Lumberjack yet. I didn't actually check that in the spoiler log.
That actually is a fair point. But in the meantime, Almasar King, we need about 17 hammer swings if I recall correctly. Take out the mask, and then you get your choice of destruction. Do you use the spins? Do you use the bow? Do you try to aim that hammer carefully?
Gets the hammer. Vertical hammer is not really a joke to hit with, but he gets it pretty cleanly there, finishing with a Master Sword spin.
Alright, SuperNinTaylor with his second crystal. Ack with his first.
That gets a few more seconds there out of the Tempered Sword over the Master Sword on the last phase of Helma. Not a huge difference, but that adds up over the course of this seed.
That is true. And now we are in Eastern. It makes sense, we have a crystal. But do we have more Magicite items to claim? Why is my mind on Final Fantasy VI today? Well, Big Key is certainly going to help to get the crystal from the Armos Knights, so definitely cannot fault that.
Yep, we'll see if they head over towards the compass or map chest. I can never remember which is which. Nope, they're bypassing that.
Well, we're going to have another chest along the way, but this one may be bypassed too. Yep, just as I suspected. SuperNinTaylor has a keen eye for treasure today.
To answer chat, our swords so far that we've seen have been on Mini Moldorm Cave for the first one. There's silver arrows in the big chest. And then Spiral Cave and King Zora.
Ooh, silver arrows in the Hall of the Armos Knights? That's... I don't know if the Armos Knights intended that, but... easy kills, we'll take them.
That is a great position for silvers. It will make this fight extra trivial, I suppose.
Well, we certainly have all the extra spare arrows we could want, so that'll certainly help. And if we need any more, there are some pots right there, but SuperNinTaylor is well armed and ready to send these knights down. And with a vanilla heart container to go with it. Eastern Palace is knocked out.
And there's your Magicite, after all.
But is it really Magicite? I don't think I can use it in battle.
It's got the soul of a maiden or something trapped in it. I never really understood the plot and how that worked.
Touché. And go ahead.
I was just going to answer chat. Yes, silvers were in the big chest of Eastern Palace.
And SuperNinTaylor is entering desert. So, at this point, we're already suspecting a pedestal seed. We also have the green pendant here. But at the same time, let's think about the routing that's been done while Ack is entering Misery Mire right now. Oh, SuperNinTaylor. Oh, was that a misread? I mean, I've had that too, so can't fault him too much. So, let's think about the routing here. We did not enter desert early, which means Sahasrahla probably does not have anything for that green pendant.
That's true. We've had access for a long time. The flute, mitts, and mirror were all pretty early. That said, we actually did need the lamp to clear this place, or the fire rod, which we have not yet found.
Well, both runners did go to ice first, so... But regardless, I think you're right. This may just be a play for the green pendant, and then SuperNinTaylor just has to go to swamp. While in the meantime, Ack wants to take care of Mire, and then probably desert. So, is this a god Mire to go with it? Yes, it is, and of course, let's hover. Or not. Sometimes, we have to take a fall in order to rise up and hover again. We'll take the normal approach instead.
I mean, if you're gonna fall, it's better to fall at the very start of the hover than at the end, right?
That is a very fair point, Mercer. Alright, SuperNinTaylor versus Lanmolas. Getting in position. A 1, a 2, a 3, a 3. How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Lanmolas? The world may never know.
I hope not. That sounds very unappetizing.
That's a fair point.
Please don't go licking your Zelda monsters. That's just not sanitary.
We have people licking the Breath of the Wild cartridges. By the way, don't do that! So, Acktheboker, just going through Misery Mire, wants to give Vitreous the old what for, not even bothering with the slow left side.
So notably, SuperNinTaylor just bails out of the Mire area. We know Mire's a crystal. They're going to have to go back, but they may... It's not a huge time loss. I mean, you just fluke back over there.
Well, that, and we have to remember the health situation. 6 heart containers, you know, if you're not careful with the Misery Mire, you can get bodied there easily.
I mean, 6 heart containers, but it's red mail. They did a 5 heart cold stare. Like, I feel like they'd be fine.
I remember some of the enemies still being strong even with red mail, but that may be just me. But right now, both SuperNinTaylor and Ack are trading each other's final pendant dungeons. So this is probably a good time to remind all of you, if you are enjoying this race, please give our runners a follow because they are certainly putting in work here for this best of 3 series. Don't forget to follow my commentary partner Mercer, along with our tracker Dimensive.
Yeah. After the simultaneous flute activations earlier, the only thing more hype would be if they actually manage a simultaneous ped pull.
And Ack also went for that dangerous spin speed on Desert. Does pull it off. So yeah, we are looking at a pedestal seed here, folks. Will this be a simultaneous ped pull? I don't think I've seen that ever.
I have watching races, but only with 4 restreamed, not 2.
I think Ack is going to be the first to get there based off of the position. It does take a little bit to take out Argus's children? I don't know if they're children, but you get the point. Especially since SuperNinTaylor only has Master Sword, which means either multiple slashes, spin slashes, or menu strategies.
Yeah, that's fair. Ack misses the 1 cycle landmo, so he'll lose about 6 seconds versus SuperNinTaylor's 5.
Alright, chat. Acktheboker has 3 pendants. Get your final guesses in for what is on the pedestal.
A few seconds later, Argus goes down. Got a very nice stretch of pokes with the Master Sword in there, and then hit the map.
And we're not going there yet. Ack is teasing us.
I mean, you have to do Thieves Town sometime. What better time than right now?
That is true, it is a crystal. Will SuperNinTaylor be the first to go in and grab the pedestal? In the meantime, a big key on first chest of thieves, that'll certainly be nice. And SuperNinTaylor is going into Skullwoods first. Ack is trying to hurry to, quote-unquote, rescue the maiden. While SuperNinTaylor is just going straight for the back, has the mirror prepared. He believes it's the fire rod here. Again, I've misread the spoiler logs before. Hopefully, SuperNinTaylor did not. And, I hope that wasn't a bad portal position.
It looked like it was.
But still, everyone, get your hype in chat. The 3 pendants are alight, and we pull the almighty fire rod from the pedestal. Oh, and SuperNinTaylor does get in. Perfect.
Well...
Almost perfect.
Okay, he's okay. Cost an extra transition, but that's a lot better than having to go back through.
We'll take it. So, now that we have the fire rod, we can easily take care of Skullwoods. Ack is probably going to head there very soon.
The only thing they're missing at this point to be able to clear, I believe, is the ice rod.
Speaking of missing, I missed Blind's pun! No! Even I sometimes appreciate a good pun, but apparently Ack doesn't because Ack wants Blind down. And there goes Blind. Thank you, chat, for trying to cover that.
You'll get a second chance here in about 4 minutes, probably.
Chat already told me the pun. It doesn't make sense for me to do my normal routine for that. So, question from chat. Where was Bombos located? Bombos was located in Paradox Cave.
Upper or lower Paradox Cave.
Alright, Ack is now heading into Skullwoods. Heading straight to the back, wants to get that fire rod.
Looks like they're going to trade dungeons. SuperNinTaylor heading towards Thieves Town. Looks like we're actually heading towards about the same style of finish we had in the previous race, where SuperNinTaylor has to finish Tower of Hera. Or SuperNinTaylor has Tower of Hera finished, and for their last trip up to Death Mountain, that's actually the exact routing difference at the end of the previous race.
But at the same time, SuperNinTaylor still has to go through Mire and chose to pass up on it while at the desert. That I'm concerned about. I mean, both runners do have to take care of 3 dungeons, again, as Ack just picks up the fire rod.
Yeah, I would say Ack feels like he's maybe a minute and a half in the lead or so right now, but plenty of time for that to change.
Ooh, harmful hallway. Trying to give SuperNinTaylor some trouble, but makes it through just fine. And Ack is very close to Mothula. So at this point, based off of all the dungeons our runners have done, we have not found the ice rod yet. So chat, start speculating. Where will the ice rod be found?
Don't feel like that's much of a speculation.
It may not be, but I still want to see our folks playing along. Which location, which chest? I want specifics. And it looks like Ack is just going to head straight over.
Yep, just gonna dodge through one of the worst screens in the game.
Alright, here's the proper pun reaction. Retrievers love fetch quests. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Okay, I can't really do that if I've already seen the pun.
Have you not seen all of Blind's puns by now? I know they sneak new ones in now and then, but...
I meant I saw what the pun was thanks to chat, and I do thank you for that, chat. Don't get me wrong. It's just, it doesn't have the same reaction for me. I need to see it as if it's live.
I mean, now you're bragging about seeing right as Blind gets murdered. Have you no heart? Taunting about their disability and, you know, watching them die.
Well, some have called me a heartless, some have called me a nobody. I don't know anymore. I am confused in this strange world. Now we just need to find a door involving light or something. But we're not heading into the light. We are heading into the dark Turtle Rock.
Given that Ack doesn't have the ice rod yet, we can pretty safely say it's in here.
We did not go into Hookshot Cave, so that is correct. Which chest, though? Well, not that one, but Big Key is still important. Of course, since it's the Big Key there, we need small keys from the, fire roller room.
So this is actually probably the reason SuperNinTaylor waited on Meyer. That was a very clean second room of Meyer, courtesy of having the fire on.
Ah! Yeah, being able to take advantage of the projectiles certainly helps. Alright, Ack, very low on health. I do believe he has the blue potion still available. Yes, he does. While SuperNinTaylor, oh boy, hover,
okay, he
pausing.
did that.
No!
He did the same pause in the last one, but successfully did it. I actually meant to ask if he had done it intentionally, but doing it there seems to indicate to me that that is a yes. Probably to give his hand a break.
It is a long hover. Nothing wrong with taking a handbrake, but at the same time, you have to react extremely quickly in order to get those presses in just right. Alright, based off of Ack's routing, this will determine if we need the lava chest or not. At this point, we know the ice rod has to be somewhere along our way, not going for lava chest. Okay, never mind. I didn't see something correctly, but okay, SuperNinTaylor, it is just about to take care of Vitreous. And, folks, we're not doing Mimic Cave.
Showing off the spooky action glitch there. If you want information on how the spooky action glitch works, consult somebody with a PhD in this game.
So I wasn't just seeing things then. Good to know. There's the ice rod. At 53 minutes, 4 seconds, it's safe to say that Acktheboker is in go mode.
SuperNinTaylor down to just Turtle Rock to do as Ack is going through the dark room of Turtle Rock. I'd say Ack is still probably a couple minutes ahead. Really depends on how long it takes him to do Hera.
And, yes, we do need one key to get into Trinex's lair. There's the key on magic number 2. And, oh, the pokey causing some mischief there for Ack.
So Ack's going to be entering the Trinex fight as SuperNinTaylor heads up the mountain.
Alright. One neck is down. 2 necks are down.
I believe both players do still have a blue potion left. So they should be okay on this.
I think SuperNinTaylor used one already on Cold Stare.
Ah, okay. I had forgotten that.
Alright, Acktheboker has defeated Turtle Rock, but still needs to finish up Tower of Hera. While SuperNinTaylor is entering Turtle Rock for the first time, knows what he needs. Going for the small keys first. I've seen this route more recently with some of the runners. I don't know which way is more efficient.
I timed it personally. I might have movement errors, but taking the mirror here and then heading towards the other room is faster for me, at least. It's very close, though. So Ack's already been in Tower of Hera, already has the big key, so can just head upstairs.
That is correct. And yes, folks, once we finish up Tower of Hera, we literally just warp back, and there we are at Ganon's Tower. So, here's what's going to happen. We're not going to do the traditional guessing game. Instead, we cannot take numbers. Tell me the room, and if the room has more than one chest, which chest?
Now, I actually did not look at that. I didn't look at any of the details on the contents of Ganon's Tower. Did you?
I may have skimmed it, but I don't remember which one.
Well, what's your guess, then?
Tile room.
That's what I was going to take, because I'm a mean person. I'll just go with vanilla location, because that's the second meanest.
Alright. So yeah, we still have our same 22 item locations, we just need the explicit location today, folks. The winner, if we can identify one, will receive at least a shout-out or two. Betting will end as soon as we see Ack make a decision, right or left. Decision made, going right. Hope Room has a small key and a small key. Certainly worth to stop by here, but not going to Tile Room. There goes our guess.
Yours, you've pushed me off that. Mine is behind Ice Armos.
Dang it. Alright, Bob lives, so we're not going to worry about the torch today. SuperNinTaylor now with the ice arrows, or ice rod, excuse me. Great, now I'm mixing up my games here. We're just covering all of the game multiverses today here.
Skipping right past the vanilla map location and the Dark Magician room.
Alright, now we're on the Fire Snake room. We have to at least reveal the chest, but that doesn't mean we have to open it. That one's knocked out, and we are skipping the rando room, folks. We are down to 4 locations. Assuming, of course, that we did, that Ack did read the spoiler log correctly.
So far, so good on that.
Alright, Bob, will you bring us good luck today? Mirror equipped. There we go. Bob's chest is the winner. Now, who explicitly said that? I cannot just take Bob because that can refer to Bob's torch.
Meanwhile, SuperNinTaylor doing the somewhat trickier hammer strat here. Hammer plus Master Sword.
Alright. If I saw correctly, and it's entirely possible that I did not, the one who explicitly gave us Bob's chest first was Airbomb 24. So I wish to congratulate you, Airbomb. You have managed to pull off a victory in this unofficial game, and so you win a lifetime supply of Randomizer seeds. All you have to do is go to ALTTPR.com to redeem them, generate all the chaotic seeds you want, from standard to open, key sanity to retro, and any other combination in between. Just go to ALTTPR.com and generate them today. Offer stays valid until the next major version, not available in Nebraska.
SuperNinTaylor, meanwhile, manages to stay alive in that fight, dodging out of the last phase death by a matter of pixels.
What? Sometimes, 1 pixel is all you need.
It was probably at least 3 pixels. Ack pushes up the gauntlet right as SuperNinTaylor enters the tower.
Go ahead.
It probably would take something exceptional for SuperNinTaylor to come back from here, but a Ganon fall or something of that nature could certainly do it.
I think it may take 2 Ganon falls. But we have seen that happen before, so SuperNinTaylor can still pull this off, tie it up.
I mean, I believe we saw the post-kill fall in the top 8 of the spring tournament.
Oh, hold on. Oh, Ack using the last of his magic, having to use the lantern in order to light the torches. Sorry, go ahead.
I do think over the course of this seed, the 500 rupees that Ack paid to Zora has returned that investment in spades. This tempered sword's really made a big difference.
Well, Ack was trying to bypass taking Moldorm out, but not quite yet. Moldorm still gets a laugh. And it looks like Ack is just going to take Moldorm out, and well, are we going to see a raid or not? No, Ack is a kind Hylian today. But in the meantime, SuperNinTaylor did pick up the big key and taking out the Armos Knights. That means, well, there's a blue potion. That's certainly helpful. And there's our 4th sword, folks.
Meanwhile, Ack gets the double triple, which is always super stylish to see.
However, in order for this style to count, we need to finish off the big pig himself. Ganondorf Dragmire, you have turned into Mandrag Ganon. It is time that you become cooked. But first, what are your words of wisdom for today? Grumble, 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 grumble. That one doesn't get old for me.
I was hoping to see, there are apparently some spoiler race-specific Ganon texts, and I was hoping we'd see one, but not yet.
That's actually a thing?
Yeah, supposedly. He does take a hit from these fire bats. Gonna take this refill off this blue potion.
Alright, and however, Ack is still doing well with the 4 phases of Ganon. Distraction, Destruction, wait, this isn't Wind Waker Rando, never mind. Still needs to avoid the fire bats, though.
Yeah, pushed his health, but he's into the 3rd phase, much safer than the 2nd phase. Should be okay from here.
As long as Ganondorf stays still.
The teleports are quasi-random. SuperNinTaylor will have the same pattern for the first attempt.
And, ooh, nice torch glitch there. Managing to pull it off from the distance. And Ganon is down. But remember, Ack still needs to cross the bridge. We do not want to have a slip up here. And with that, folks, get your GGs in chat. Acktheboker has finished in 1st place, closing out this 2 out of 3 matchup with an official SRL time minus study time of 1 hour, 6 minutes, 31 seconds.
And a good game to Ack as SuperNinTaylor continues through the gauntlet.
The worst of the gauntlet has passed. We just have 8 torches to light up.
That's spoken like somebody who's much better at this particular room than I am.
Nah, I've had plenty of falls with those top right torches. It's... You would not be... It's kind of annoying whenever you try to light a torch and realize you are actually misaligned and you hit the bottom, which doesn't count. But someone who certainly knows their torches and everything else... Acktheboker, GG, you managed to pull off the 2-game victory.
GG. Thank God. These are really... So, I'm kind of glad that there's not going to be a game 3. I feel like this is way more stressful than playing regular rando.
How so?
I mean, I don't know. You're designed to skip as much stuff as you can feasibly handle. You have to decide, you know, what should I skip? Should I skip safeties? All of that. And you have to, you know, bite off as much as you can chew without slowing yourself down, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, there were certainly parts where both of you had some, not exactly total divergent routes, but at the same time, it certainly left some questions as to how things are going to end up. In the end, I think your decision to forego a safety or 2 managed to... Actually, you ended up with more heart containers now that I realize it. So I think you ended up with more safeties.
Yeah, I did really like my route this seed. I did not like most of my dungeon routes, though. My pod was... an abomination at best, but my route worked out really well for me. I didn't realize that there was $300 on the Spectacle Rock Cave. I was actually planning on getting the one from Escape, and then that was right there in front of me, and I was like, wow, that's way more convenient. You can get a lot done in 15 minutes, but piece together a perfect route, I mean, I can't do it.
Yeah, the choice to get the Zora sword, I think was probably the biggest difference in the seed. SuperNinTaylor had Master Sword going into GT. So you made that decision fairly early, I'm guessing, while you were planning the route out?
I mean, I thought doing that route that he did, of skipping Zora, and then I'll just get the sword in GT, but that means you don't get to do all those dungeons with Tempered, and then you still had to kill Ice Armos to get that sword, and I was thinking to myself, like, walking to Zora will be so much faster than doing all the dungeons on the Master Sword and then having to even go an additional step in GT. So, but I was initially planning on doing that, then I was like, that doesn't make any sense, so I changed my mind, and then I was trying to figure out where I was going to get the money.
Well, in this case, you know, you did have excellent routing, but sometimes a little luck does pay off.
Yeah.
Now, I actually do have a couple questions about how you do your routing. I actually would find that interesting. I know when I looked at the spoiler log, the first thing I looked at was actually the Master Sword pedestal to see if it was required or not, and it happened to be. What order do you take it in?
Man, I really just read top to down, and I write down all the key items, and I try to, I don't know, just make a list of places that I will probably go to first, and then you just copy and paste everything around until you have a route that looks good. But yeah, I really just read it, and I read where all the key items are. I jot them down, and then in the dungeons, I jot down where the big key is, and if there's anything in the dungeon, that's pretty much it.
Do you keep the log open while you're going through the race just to consult back to it, or do you close it out?
I keep the log open the whole time. It's a lot of those times when I'm walking into a wall, I'm sitting there trying to figure out how the heck I'm getting a route pod or something.
Meanwhile, SuperNinTaylor finishes up, closes his tournament by walking backwards with the bow out into the Triforce.
With an official SRL minus study time of 1 hour, 10 minutes, 58 seconds. So hopefully we can get SuperNinTaylor in here as well.
Now, I'm not sure what led to the decision to do the back-to-back, if it was just what made the scheduling work best for the two of you, but I can't even imagine trying to do 2 spoiler races in a row. Did you have any moments where you were confusing, a moment of deja vu when you walked into Checkerboard Cave?
I mean, I did ask immediately if I made sure I had the right seed. Once I saw it, I was like, wait a minute, this looks really familiar. Yeah, Checkerboard was the same. I guess you had that sword in Mini Moldworm Cave. The Meyer Big Key was the same. But oddly enough, it felt like this seed had a better flow to it, even though it was a pedestal seed than the first
one. In what way do you mean that?
I don't know. The first one was such a pain to get everything. Felt like you were meandering around way too much. This one, I don't know, it felt a little different. GG, S&T.
Yeah, GG. Congrats on advancing.
Thanks, man.
So, SuperNinTaylor, what were your thoughts on this one?
This one, a lot more to do. Right when I saw it was a pedestal seed, that was kind of interesting, but I was for it. I was ready for it, kind of, sort of.
Well, how does it feel to have, to my knowledge, the first pedestal seed of the tournament?
I don't know. Feels okay, I guess.
They're a bit more reasonable when you know that it's a pedestal seed opposed to finding that out, 50 minutes later.
Yeah, I had a bit of a chuckle when I saw that. I had more of a chuckle when I saw the
boots.
The boots were, yeah.
Yeah.
And what else was it? There was something else that was PRNG going on. Oh, Canis Samaria.
Oh, right, yeah, we had Canis Samaria, then the Meyer Big Key, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I would say, just having watched it, and we were talking to Ack about this a moment ago, but probably the biggest turning point was Ack getting the Zora sword and you passing on it. What led to the decision to route it that way?
I don't think I had more than 300 rupees the whole race.
That is true. I forget where he picked up an extra 300. You both got the one on Spectacle Rock.
Yeah.
The well.
The well, okay. Yeah, second race I had a friend over, so I was like half focusing on him and half on the race. So I did a few dumbs. Like I mirrored in Ice Palace, I think, twice. Getting twice.
I remember once because you ran out of bombs. I don't remember the other, but
Or maybe
That
it
was
did.
kind of it was an unfortunate when you got trapped and were out of bombs in the bomb floor.
Oh, rip.
Or maybe I didn't mirror. I remember feeling stuck for a second because I was half not paying attention. Yeah, it might have just been one mirror.
Yeah, I didn't realize that the lamp was hard required to get, and I was planning on skipping it, and I was like, oh, that would be really bad if you did that.
Yeah.
I almost actually said something in the IRC like, hey, don't skip the lamp. Because it's hard to read the seed that way, unless you're like, you know, super hard focused in the route, because you'd be like, oh, I don't need the lamp, I'm just going to get the fire rod, but you can't because it's blocked by the lamp.
Yeah. Then I tried going to the South Dark World portal, the Hype Cave portal, and I was like, why can't I lift this rock? Where's the gloves? I was like, oh, Magic Bat has a glove. Where's the powder? Yeah. Ice Rod Cave.
Oh, rip, dude.
Yeah. It's all good,
Yeah, this seed took you all over. Though,
Yeah.
speaking of travel, I had a few folks that wanted this question asked regarding Game 1. What made you decide to take care of all the Light World dungeons in Game 1 before going into the Dark World dungeons?
I'm assuming that's directed to me. I don't know. I mean, we only had 15 minutes to think of a route, and that was the best one I could think of. But clearly, Ack found a better one than I did. I don't know. They were just in my way when I was getting items, so I just cleared them when I was there.
Yeah, my route, I don't always do this when I play these, but I basically rushed boots and both seeds.
Yeah.
But that's not exactly something I game plan towards. I felt like it was very close, but I felt like just getting the boots would have made you more efficient overall.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I didn't really feel like I ever got supremely committed to a dungeon. I guess doing Ice Palace without the boots in Game 1 would have been, though. Only one I'm not sure about which one would have been faster, but I think everything else it was probably faster just to go get them.
Yeah, that's the literal worst of Ice Palace without boots.
Yeah.
If I could have it for one dungeon, just one, I would pick Ice Palace.
Yeah, I was just scared I was gonna die. Like, boots or not boots, I mean, I basically just chickened out and was like, I'll just use the excuse of getting the boots, but truth be told, I was terrified of dying to cold staring.
All a seed one was pretty Monka-esque.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember in this seed that you bailed on doing Mire when you did Desert. Was that for my speculation was that it was for the Fire Rod for Room 2, that would make up the time of fluting back. Was that the reason, or?
Yeah, it was mostly just to get the Fire Rod.
Okay.
So, what was I getting? I got some kind of item. Oh yeah, the boots were there. And then, I don't know, I didn't think it was that much slower just to go to Mire than just to flute back. And with the Fire Rod, that kind of closes the gap a bit too.
Right. Well, you had to do Desert for the Pendant to get the Fire Rod.
Right, yeah.
Otherwise, I think Desert was pretty barren, but as was Swamp. But Ice obviously had 2 required items as well as the Pendant.
Yeah. Plus, I also forgot you don't have to do that first spooky action glitch against the spike. I always bank on that as well.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, right. Yeah, I didn't even have an opportunity to do spooky in either of them, and it's good because I don't know in those situations.
Yeah, I did them in both races.
Yeah, it's always interesting to watch that because I'm never sure if it's going to work because I have no idea how it works. I know it's something about the pixel height, and that's about it. Well, I'm actually curious, do you like this approach better than the approach for the qualifiers where you could basically study the log infinitely and basically come up with the optimal route?
I do like this better, I think, just because I don't know, I mean, I like both methods, kind of. I think if you do it the qualifier way, it's really just about execution and that's it. And when you do it this way, you actually, like, gives you a chance to put your routing skills to the test as well, which I think is probably a bit better for everyone.
Yeah, I much prefer this way than the qualifiers. I did all my qualifiers same day with only a 15-minute study break just to make sure that I was at least giving myself bracket practice, I suppose. So that cost me definitely a few seeds for doing it that way, I think. But I don't know. The qualifiers kind of made it feel like homework to me. And, you know, school's for nerds, okay? I'm here to play rando.
That's true. Those qualifiers just made it more stressful than it needed to be.
But I think the format was fine for accomplishing what it needed to accomplish. I'm just glad I'm here and not doing that again.
Yeah.
Well,
that's definitely a better format.
Well, good game to both of you. Congratulations, Ack. Anything either of you want to say about it? Anything else about the seed that we didn't really ask about?
Well, it was fun while it lasted. I mean, I'm kind of like, I don't really care that much. I'm glad that Ack is moving on, really. Like, either way, I would have been happy with one of us moving on. But one thing I'm mostly upset about is I predicted myself in my bracket prediction. That's going to hurt. That's my main concern.
The only thing I have to add is SuperNinTaylor is probably one of the most handsome rando players that currently plays the game right now. So if you guys would like to follow him, and I can prove my case, so I strongly suggest it.
I'm not going to argue that. Ack's pretty handsome too.
Well, gee, you're both taking my normal stick away from me. Please, shoutouts to our two runners, Ack and SuperNinTaylor.
GG guys, thank you for the commentary, tracking, all that good stuff. Really appreciate it as always.
Yep, and I'm gonna dip out now, so thanks guys. See ya.
Oh, what a race, but we are technically not done with the rando action or any of the speed gaming action yet here. So let's run down the schedule. By the way, before I forget, shoutouts to Mercer and Dementive, my commentary partner and our tracker. Please follow them as well. Going in order, on Speed Gaming, we have Magic the Gathering Arena Wednesday Night Magic right now, followed by the Splatoon 2 Octo Expansion Any % Tournament at 10:30. Speed Gaming 2, right now we have the Super Metroid Randomizer League Playoffs, Top 16, JRO versus Antimony, then followed by Final Fantasy 1 Randomizer Highlander, Greggly Puff versus Lord of the Synth. Speed Gaming 3, stick around here. We will have another spoiler log match, this time between Ben Teasy and Relkin. Speed Gaming 4, in progress, the Link to the Past Randomizer League. Chisame versus Ultima, representing Team Kappa versus Team 2 Pearl, 2 Furious, respectively. And then Speed Gaming 5, the Zelda 1 Rando All Boards, No Swords tournament between Redbird Grad and Dr. J PhD. We have a lot of excellent matches to check out. Please remember to follow twitch.tv/speedgaming, along with Speed Gaming 2 through 6. And please do not forget about our foreign language restreams available in Spanish, French, Portuguese, and German.
If nothing else, our community is excellent at naming things.
And certainly better at pronouncing them, better than me. So I think that will conclude things for us here, Mercer. Any final thoughts?
No, that was a really fun seed. Thank you for taking me through this. Want to give a shout out to also follow Wolfman2000 here, since we are handling all of that. And thank you for the watching.
Until next time, folks, watch out for Moldorm. Good night.